Hello, Lisa.
Hello, Zeta. Very nice to see you today. So shall we introduce
Yeah,
ourselves?
yeah.
I'm Lisa Williamson and I work at You Motivate Hypnotherapy, and I have offices in Folkestone and London. And with Zoom, I can now work nationally.
Great. Well, I'm Zeta Tomler. I am a hypnotherapist working in Kent and in London, but very involved in the governance of hypnotherapy through Bath, which is a professional association, and through UPCHO. And I think that's what drove me to want to make this short video about working online, because it's become a big part of our lives, and I think it's going to be the way into the future, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think that, as you say, most of us have moved our lives online with lockdown, and psychotherapy is online, counseling online. But do people know that actually hypnotherapy is online? I mean, both of us have been working online throughout lockdown with
Yeah,
different
yeah,
people. So, yeah.
yeah.
Could you tell us more about working online?
Yeah, okay. So I think most people have a bit confused about how that might work. And it's really not much different to doing it here in my therapy room. I just need someone to have a comfortable chair, a place where they're not going to be disturbed. Obviously, they need a good internet connection. Sometimes I will say to them, wear some headphones, because it brings the voice right into their head, into their mind, without, and sort of zones out the external distractions. And I just need their laptop or phone, whatever they're connecting with me with, to be angled so I can see their face. I just need to see their face so that I can see that they're relaxing, that they're comfortable, and also, of course, at the end, when I'm trying to bring them out of trance, that I know that they are properly waking up and coming back into the room. That's all we need. It's as simple as that. Other than that, it's just the same as here.
Fantastic. And do you find that there is any particular issues that you do get coming up for online?
I think people say, when you're first raising it as an option, as we had to do a lot during the lockdown, people feel they're worried about what happens if the internet connection goes down. I think that's about the only thing that's come back to me. What happens? And I think people are kind of worried they might be stuck in trance forever or something. And it's just getting them to understand that if that happened, they would wake up naturally anyway. I think they're listening to my voice would stop, and after a few minutes they think, oh, what's going on, and they would wake up. It's a bit like falling asleep in front of the television or anything like that. You would wake up naturally. If someone's particularly worried, then I would say, let's arrange for someone to come into the room at the end of the time of the session, so that they would feel that, well, there was a safety net there, or we have some sort of a phone line that I would be able to get through on, or something like that, if that did happen. I have to say, though, having worked online for many years, but in such a concentrated way over the last few months, I've never actually had an internet connection go in the middle of a trance. I've had a few wobbles along the way. I think the biggest issue could be if someone is using their phone and they don't block incoming calls and things, and you could get a sort of a break in connection temporarily, and then it comes back again. I've had where the visual goes for a minute or so, and then it comes back again, and things like that. But
Yes.
if you're well prepared, you can avoid most of those things. And as I say, I haven't had that happen to me, even though it's one of those things people keep thinking might happen.
Yes, and I suppose, and as you say, if the visual does go for a second, the client is in a state of deep relaxation, so they have their eyes shut,
Yeah, then
as
yeah,
you're saying.
yeah.
And if they particularly wanted to, I had one client that was quite happy to set an alarm,
Oh,
sort of just an hour after session.
yeah,
She
yeah,
knew she wasn't going to be asleep really, but it was just quite nice to have an alarm just there, just in case. So,
yeah.
you know,
It's a really good idea. Yeah, yeah.
yes, yes, exactly. So, did we? Is there? So there is there? So there, is there any issues that you wouldn't do online? Is there any sessions that you wouldn't?
Um, yes. Well, I say
Mm.
wouldn't. It's something I would be very cautious around, which is regression. If you're doing regression into something that might be traumatic or disturbing, I would rather have someone in my space. I just would like for them to feel my presence as a support, more than it can feel in this slightly disassociated way we can be online. But that doesn't mean to say I would never do it. I mean, if you've built a good rapport with someone and it feels comfortable and they're happy and you're happy, and maybe there's someone in the house as well that if they got, you know, if there were a lot of emotion that could come into the room. But generally speaking, almost anything you can do online. I mean, it's, you know, it isn't really, as I say, any different to being face to face.
Yes. Have you found that has there been any challenges that you've had to overcome online?
It's the only thing I would say, which sounds quite silly, the number of cats that people have at home. You know, I had no idea my clients had so many cats. You know, so you can be in trance and that they're all relaxed there, and you're watching, and that's all fine. And then a cat wanders into the situation, and you've got their face right up, and you really think you're hypnotizing the cat rather than the person who's behind them. And then maybe even at one time I had a cat's bottom pressed up against the lens, and then off they went. Sometimes a cat might jump on their owner, you know, and start. You can just imagine those claws going into them, and I just try and build that into the trance. I'll sort of say, well, your cat's come to pay you a visit, and it's something that normally you will relax with. So just allowing yourself to be aware the cat is there, and try and deal with it that way. So yeah, funnily enough, that's been about the only thing. Pets in the house, maybe a child running into the room or something like that. But yeah, mainly it's pets. You know what they say about acting? Never work with children and pets. Well,
Yes.
the same thing with online hypnotherapy.
Yes, exactly. And I suppose they can, you know, if they're used to having their pet around them, that can be quite just a lovely intimate experience. They've got you, the therapist, there, but the cat or pet has come in, and that must be quite calming, I would have thought as well.
Yeah.
And do you find, has any of your clients said to you that being online and working with you, has it created a sort of an intimate focus that they can share with you, but at the same time they're in the comfort of their own home?
It's interesting. It's interesting you should raise that, Lisa, because some people have actually said that working online has been better for them because they're in their own home, so they're in their familiar sofa or chair, maybe even in some cases they might be lying on their bed. So it's somewhere that is familiar to them as a place to relax, rather than coming into a different space. It feels kind of cozier, but then they've got my voice there, taking them on this journey. Also, when we stop, come out of trance, they haven't got to get up, go out into the cold or whatever, drive home. They can just rest for a while in that comfortable place. And another thing I feel, though I haven't kind of openly discussed with someone, I think maybe it feels easier to disclose maybe slightly uncomfortable information, or things are a bit embarrassing, or even to confess something, like say it's somebody who you've been working with for alcohol problems, and they need to tell you, actually, I'm sorry, I have had a drink. And that's quite hard for someone to admit, because they don't want to let you down as well as themselves. Yes. And I think with that slightly separate than being at home and you being here, it's maybe easier for them to say these things to you than face to face in your space. It's interesting, you know. I've had different kinds of feedback, but these are the sort of things I've noticed, and some of the things that people have fed back to me. And some of my clients are staying online. You know, they've decided, no, I like this. I saved me the petrol money and all that. Now I know that. But if you'd suggested it at the outset, they might not have gone with it. You know, but people are much more open. I think when you started, you said, you know, we've started living our lives on Zoom now, and we're more familiar to it.
Yes.
So I think for the future, it will be much more an option for people. I think.
Yes, much more accessible. I mean, do you feel should it be quite nice to do a demonstration online?
Yes, should we do that?
Yes, that's
okay. Well, let's wind up this discussion here now, and we'll do a couple of follow-up sessions with a real demo. Okay. Thanks, Lisa.
Okay.
Been nice talking.
Nice talking to you.